wired into everything and track everything we do, so they could have predictive programs to basically, with statistical analysis, predict the future. And I've talked about this for many years now, and even in the Wall Street Journal, they admit that Google and all of this is a government crystal ball. And again, it doesn't actually see the future. It's just with enough human activities integrated in, they can war game it out statistically and come up 99% of the time, they say. I'm sure it's even more advanced. They always tell us about the old technology. Mass movements, and 93 to 96%, they can predict when you're going to pull over at a steakhouse, because they already know with the computer that there's a steakhouse up here, and they know about your previous decisions, time actuaries. The point is that this is playing God, but it's still just men running it. And that's probably why we're in so much danger, because they have this hubris, and of course, pride goeth before a fall. It's so dangerous, and we are in such a critical juncture. So they believed that they would use the internet, and it didn't matter if we had voices, because they would just call us conspiracy theorists and discredit us. But because so many of us did use the system, they're now saying, as Jay Rockefeller said, who's now the head of that dynasty, one of the most powerful men on earth, he said, we would have been better off without this, and it's time to start shutting the damn thing off. You can pull those quotes up, folks. And so now they're moving to the Internet 2 model, which is just the same Internet, but blocking others, selective Internet kill switches on domains, making you be on master domains like Yahoo, or YouTube, where you sign up under a contract, new preemptive systems where they use copyright to shut you down. The 80 inventors of the internet, as you know, 2 weeks ago went public and said this is the end of the internet, an authoritarian takeover. It sounded like Patrick Henningsen or Alex Jones. So as you said, the denial's over. People, you better appreciate Infowars Nightly News and Patrick Henningsen's articles. It doesn't mean we're the best or have all the answers or coach and have teleprompters and info babes. We're regular people who can see what the globalists have said. You know, that's what's frustrating for me, Patrick, and I want you to close commenting on this, is that it's all written down. These people think we're so stupid that they publicly write books, Brzezinski, about how they use Al-Qaeda and how they work for them. And they publicly brag how they're jacking with our water. And they brag about how they're stealing our pension funds and how they've set up financial pyramid schemes that are meant to rob us. And it's just all there, and we're here saying to the public, hey, did you see this? Did you see this? And now the public's actually listening, so the system's racing to start World War III, racing to shut down the web, racing to demonize Ron Paul. What I'm worried about is that they're going to lose control and then just go ahead and start an even bigger war. You know, we need him to lose control and kind of collapse like the old Soviet Union or something. But instead, I mean, look at Ron Paul. They've tried to demonize him, so he's gotten a boost in the polls from it. I mean, they're starting to figure out they're out of bullets. That's why they want to shut the web down and stuff. I'm kind of ranting here, but you hear the gestalt. You've got the floor for 3 or 4 minutes to give us your comments on the big picture.
Sure. You know, this exactly what you're talking about. When I was on Al Jazeera, asked me to come on, and they did a program called Empire, and they asked me to come on and give my opinion about what a war game attack on Iran would look like. And I told the producer beforehand, I said, look, I'm going to tell you straight up, I think it'll be a disaster. I don't know if that's what you're looking for this program, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion. It's going to be an absolute disaster. And I told them, I said to them, the best laid plans of mice and men don't always come to fruition, and that chaos theory can be introduced here. This is uncharted territory for the U.S. They've never fought anybody since Second World War that actually fought back. If you really look at history, it's been rigged kind of military adventures. Okay, so there's the chaos theory that comes into play. Certainly with the internet, you actually hit the nail on the head. When I used to work in the city of London, way back, I used to work in the hospitality side back in the 90s, and when the internet first came on the scene, I was eavesdropping directors' lunches at Credit Suisse First Boston, and also in the Lord Mayor's mansion house. And these old guys who were captains of industry during the Margaret Thatcher and the John Major years, they were saying, internet, oh, this is just a fad. What is with this internet? You saw email. My secretary does emails. And this was in 1997, 98, okay? The elite had no idea the internet would take off the way it did. So now that we've got a hold of it, people need to maximize it to its absolute maximum, because they did not count on chaos theory coming into the equation. You can't calculate it. You know, the physicists, the greatest physicists, can't even calculate it. All they know is they know it's there. They know it's there, and it will play a crucial role. And
you're right. They can only map things that they've gone over thousands of times in normal human activity. When they enter these new paradigms with new technologies, and it is a bunch of old, crazy, wicked men who are not in control. They think they are. And the more people wake up to them, the more they're trying to exercise their tyranny. I just see disaster.
Yeah, well, you know, if one wrong move on the part of some psychopath in the U.S. State Department or in the the British Foreign Office, in the bureaucratic class, one wrong politically motivated move in the bureaucratic class on the chessboard, and you can have an absolute Pandora's box. Okay. Now, the good news is that Iran is not as psychopathic from my analysis as the U.S. is. So if they were to retaliate, it would be measured retaliation, and it wouldn't be a random sort of thing. But you never know. We live in also the world of false flag attacks. So, there's always a possibility. The probability is that this will drag itself out over the next couple of years. Okay, but the possibility is that it could happen at any time. So it's trying to, span the chasm between probability and possibility. If you want to, everyone wants to predict what's going to happen in 2012. There's the possibilities and there's the probabilities. So I tend to work on the probabilities, but I do keep the possibilities in the corner of my head.
Well, no doubt, now is a time for people to be involved like never before, and I think that's your coming up to the New Year message. Patrick Henningsen, great job writing for Infowars.com over there in London. Be safe.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that was an absolutely jam-packed transmission. Again, great job to our skeleton crew here. A couple of people are off on holiday with their families here at the tail end of Christmas. Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow on the radio, 11 a.m. Central, and back 7 o'clock Central here with Infowars Nightly News. We covered a lot of information tonight, and it's all incredibly important. But that info I went over at the end of the news tonight, dealing with the UN and Planned Parenthood documents about spiking our food and water and breaking up our families. I mean, this is a full-on assault against humanity. And then when you criticize it, they try some weird political correctness. This is about a scientific dictatorship playing God and ending the human species as we know it. And it needs to stop. We can defeat these people, but only by becoming conscious of the false environment that they've built around us. I'm Alex Jones, signing off until tomorrow. God bless you all.